together leaders in cancer research, health policies, regulations, and innovation. Together, we will explore the vital themes that shape the Saudi Arabian strategy in cancer care, from data to research priorities, regulations, and collaborative consortia. The first talk in our session will be about deep dive in Saudi Arabian Cancer Registry Data Warehouse. It will take us 30 minutes with Professor Mushabbab Al-Asiri. Professor Mushabbab have over 30 years of experience as physician consultant, professor, and executive expert. He is General Director of the National Cancer Center, Saudi Health Council, consultant clinical radiation oncologist at King Fahd Medical City, executive supervisor of the Saudi Proton Therapy Center, and former director of Comprehensive Cancer Center. He holds multiple fellowships and memberships like FFR, RCSI, FACB, FRCB, and FRCBC. He's professor of clinical oncology at Al Faisal University and Princess Noura University. He is a recognized leader in cancer control, registry system, radiation medicine, medical education, and health administration. Welcome, Professor Mushabbab. The stage is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه من والاه. صاحب السعادة مدير الجامعة. أول مرة أشوف مدير جامعة ينتظر لسماع محاضرة في ملتقى علمي، وهذا دليل واضح على الاهتمام والشغف والابتكار اللي هو جزء من أهل جازان. شكرا لك سعادة المدير. ثم الشكر لله سبحانه وتعالى وللزملاء الذين كانوا خلف هذا الملتقى الهام، والذي لا بد أن تكون جازان الأولى فيه، لأنها رائدة الابتكار والشغف. وما وجود هذا المنتجع الجميل داخل الجامعة إلا علامة على الابتكار والرؤية المختلفة للمستقبل. فبارك الله في وجودكم. أستأذنك يا طويل العمر على بدء المحاضرة لاحقا. I choose the name DIVE because of Jazan and the Red Sea in Jazan. And we're going to dive in cancer data, which is the basic for future. This is what we have done and what we are living now and where we're going tomorrow. It's not working. While they're fixing this, I will take you in the picture, which is almost 50 years ago, when the cancer care started in Saudi Arabia in King Faisal Specialist Hospital. King Faisal Specialist Hospital, as idea was in 1970 by King Faisal rahimahullah, and it was opened in 1975. I participated partially in the opening when I am in the 5th class of elementary school, and I am one of those students where we asked to stand on the Al-Matar street in the reception of President Anwar Sadat during his visit to Saudi Arabia, and during his visit, the opening of King Faisal Specialist Hospital in Riyadh in 1975. And 1978, military hospital opened, and they were the only two centers in Saudi Arabia serving cancer patients at that time. King Khalid Specialist Hospital, where some of you graduated from the College of Medicine or College of Pharmacy or Dentistry, was opened in 1982. And this is the first paper in cancer registry published long time ago, even before my birth. It was published in 1963 by the medical director of Aramco Services in Dhahran. He published this data in 1963 in prestigious journal at that time, which is the Cancer. He published the data from 1950 to 1960 in Saudi Arabia, and you can see on the slide what kind of cancer we have at that time. It was related to the food, to the storage. It was stomach cancer, liver cancer was very common at that time, and the link is there if somebody like to have a look to that paper, which is almost maybe 70 years ago. Alhamdulillah, the cancer registry of Saudi Arabia is one of the best in the world. And we have the rank of one of the best, or classified as high quality registry by the American Cancer Society, by UICC, by IARC, by World Health. So it is one of the best cancer registry, and it was started in King Faisal Specialist Hospital in 1992, and the first report was in 1994. King Faisal reported or published their hospital-based registry in 1986, and the cancer registry became a national cancer registry for Saudi Arabia in 1994. And this is the data from the cancer registry for the last 30 years, where 400,000 patients were registered and captured in different places of Saudi Arabia. And you can see among them is 213,000 female and 192,000 female. And this is over the 30 years. This is not annual, this is over 30 years since the establishment of cancer registry. And you can see there is a trend of increase in the cancer data at this level. You can see that there is a trend in increase of cancer in the last decade, the last 10 years. And we notice it now. There is a significant increase in the 2022, 2023, probably because of aging, probably because of better capture of the data. But there is significant increase, and we have to be prepared for this increase by expanding our health services. You can see in 2020 there is a dip in cases because of a COVID problem. Because of COVID, you can see here there is a drop of the cases in 2020 because the health facility was closed for almost 3 months, and there is no care for cancer patients, so they are not captured. And of course, the patient who was diagnosed was captured in year 2021. But we notice there is continuous increase in number in 22 and in 23, which is beyond the effect of COVID. I blame aging for one important factor. People, they get older, and age by itself is a cause of cancer. Probably better capture because we have now digital information. We have better computer science, and we can capture more patients. Probably because of different habits for smoking, food, whatever. But the important part that the ASR is increasing dramatically here toward the ASR of developed country like US, like Korea, like Singapore. And that will not stop here. US, Canada, Australia, Singapore, Korea, the number of cases per 100,000 is exceeding 200 cases. In US is 350 per 100,000. Singapore 225 per 100,000. In Australia 500,000, 500 per 100,000. We have now 138 per 100,000, but we expect that to double in the coming 10 years. That means we have to expand in the services, we have to expand our research and our capacity. And we have to be prepared for this bad news and increasing a number of cases. You can see, I think, King Faisal, they have to be proud of what they have done over the 50 years. They serve 74,000 patients of cancer in Saudi Arabia since the establishment of cancer services, then followed by National Guard and Riyadh and Jeddah, where they serve around 40,000, and then military hospital and medical cities and other hospitals, including King Fahd General Hospital in Jazan and Prince Mohammed bin Nasser Oncology in Jazan. One good thing that I can say in this is about the stage of disease. And everybody knows that if we discover the cancer in early stage, that will result in high chance of cure. You can see over the years, a lot of patients were in the black, which is metastatic disease, which is usually incurable. Any metastatic disease is fatal. Patient will not survive long. While the green color is the patient who discovered an early stage. And you can see here the trend of increase the patient that discovered an early stage. Now it's reaching around 14,000 cases. In the 2023, 14,000 of the 20,000 discovered an early stage, which means that will be 90% of them will be cured bi'idhnillah. So we, by improving our cancer screening, early detection, which is Jazan also be part of that. Jamiat al-Ihsan also, they started breast cancer screening. And also, I think Jami'a also, they have mobile unit. There is mammography unit in King Fahd Hospital in Jazan. And that increased a lot the number of patients discovered in early stage, which translate in long-term survival. Colon and breast cancer increasing dramatically, as you can see. This is the breast cancer from 2010, and we have now almost 4,000 cases, as mentioned earlier. You can see the significant increase in number, probably because of screening, which is good that we detect cases early, and maybe the disease itself increasing. And the same issue is with colorectal cancer. There is significant jump in the cases of colorectal cancer from 2020. You can see how the curve increasing dramatically here in the last year. And I think this is an important lesson for the health provider to take care of colon cancer and optimize the preventive measure to capture disease early and to help in improving survival. Another two cancers is increasing, lung and bladder cancer. Those two cancers are related to smoking habit. Cigarette smoking, shisha, whatever, any kind of tobacco, vaping. You can see there is significant increase in this number on the years from 2020 till now. People, they smoke in the past, but I don't know why they didn't get cancer in the past. Saudis, they smoke. I think the number of smokers in Saudi Arabia exceeding 20% of people smoking. This is for a long time. The habit is increasing now. Also, there is significant increase in ladies smoking. And we notice there is increase in bladder and lung cancer, which is related to smoking. Thyroid cancer, this is also quite obvious. There is increase of cases of bladder cancer all over the world. We don't exactly know the reason behind that, probably molecular reason or background radiation. Cervical cancer, which is related to preventive virus. We can prevent human papilloma virus. I think Dr. Hamdan will speak about this in the future. And the number of cases is not that high. This disease is usually transmitted through sexual contact. And because of Islamic culture, there is no liberal relation. That disease is under control over the years, but we notice now some increase in the number of cases. And by the way, this disease is prevented by vaccination. I think there is now plan to introduce the vaccine for human papilloma virus early in the school. Pancreatic cancer also, this is unfortunately fatal cancer, and there is significant increase in these years from 2020 to now. We don't know exactly the reason, probably diet, probably alcohol, and unfortunately it is one of the cancer that we don't have much to offer, and it is very difficult to treat disease. Prostate cancer, which is related to aging, you can see there is significant increase since 2020. And this is related to the aging population of Saudi Arabia, and we're going to have aging population in the future. Now I will take you to the 2023 cancer report, which is not published yet. It was introduced. To the Minister of Health. معالي مدير الجامعة. معاليك احتاج 5 دقائق اوريك داتا حق جازان. يهمني تشوفها. 5 دقائق بس. لانه جازان يعني انت من قادة القطاع في جازان طال عمرك. اذا بس ذاك الله يحييك. This is the 2023 data, 25,000 registered, and among them 20,000 Saudis. And you can see the most cases in Riyadh. Breast cancer is the leading number, 5,000 cases. Among them 4,000 cases for Saudis. This is Saudis, 20,000 cases registered in 2023. The report will be available next week on the website of Saudi Health Council. Breast cancer among Saudis, 4,000 ladies discovered. Also, you can see there is significant increase in colorectal cancer, 2,600 cases. Thyroid cancer is the following, and non-Hodgkin lymphoma and other. This is also how the case is distributed among hospitals. 4,000 patients served in King Faisal Hospital, 1,500 cases served in King Fahd Medical City, King Abdulaziz Medical City, also military hospital. There is good share of cases in different Saudi hospitals. And this is the data for Jazan. I was like to have the general director of the university to see the Jazan data, but I hope the audience will give him this information because it's important for the future. since the establishment of the cancer registry in 1992, till now there is 9,000 cases diagnosed and discovered in Jazan. This is what's been discovered in Jazan, and there's a lot of patients was diagnosed outside Jazan, either in Jeddah or Riyadh. This is the cases which discovered in Jazan or referred to King Faisal Special Hospital, because they have office here in King Fahd in King Fahd City. This is since the establishment of the registry in 1992. You can see also the trend also the same in Jazan. There is significant increase in the number of early detection, the green line, which is related to the early discovery for mammography, colon cancer preventive measure, and Jazan is not different from other. And this is where the patient treated. The majority of patients from Jazan treated in King Faisal Specialist Hospital, 3,000 cases. Then King Fahd Central Hospital in Jazan, I think the biggest and oldest hospital in Jazan. They serve or the diagnosis of 3,252 patients in King Fahd Hospital. Then a lot of patients referred to King Fahd Medical City, Prince Mohammed bin Nasser. We have Ibrahim Medkhali here. Also, there is 351 patients diagnosed, and we will go by the hospital where the diagnosis, not the treatment. Patient may be diagnosed in King Fahd and treated in Prince Mohammed. For this is we take it from the pathology department where the patient have the first establishment of the disease. Also, there is some patient goes to Assis Central Hospital, Sabia, Noor Oncology Center in Jeddah, Saudi German Hospital in Abha. This is a private hospital. Armed Forces Hospital in Riyadh, Security Force Hospital in King Abdulaziz Medical City in Riyadh. This is for the breast cancer in Jazan. From 1994 till now, around 1,136 patients diagnosed with the breast cancer. And you can see also the trend of early detection is quite obvious for breast cancer in Jazan. Thyroid cancer also, we noticed a significant jump of cases in Jazan. You can see there is a significant jump from 2020, almost doubled the number of cases of thyroid cancer. That mandate increasing the capacity of ultrasound, OR for endocrine surgeon. Probably radioactive iodine facility must be available in the hospital. This is for thyroid cancer. Colorectal cancer also is increasing in Jazan. During the last 40 years, there is 744. And you can see significant increase in the last 2 years. Again, the early detection effect is quite obvious, that a lot of patients presented in early stage. Again, one unique cancer in Jazan related to chewed tobacco, or what called locally shamma. It was disease of elderly, where they have the habit of using this kind of tobacco, and it is difficult to treat cancer. And I think there is a lot of publication published from researcher from Jامعة Jazan or from hospital in Jazan about this disease. Alhamdulillah, it is decreasing in number. I think the young generation, they are not following the old habit of using shamma, and you can see there's a trend of decreasing number of mouth and tongue cancer in Jazan. You can see the trend of this kind of tumor. And this is the result of Jazan for 2023. This is the most recent data from Jazan for the last year. 573 patients diagnosed with cancer in Jazan, among them 355 female and 218 males. That compared to last year, and also you can see the 523 are Saudis. If you add to non-Saudis with them, it's 682. The total number for Saudi and non-Saudi is 682. So I know there is a lot of patients in this region. Either they don't have the document, or they are القبائل النازحة, or they're not registered, but they are not reflected in the patients here. There's only 100 patients non-Saudis. The majority of the patients here in Saudi, I don't know, probably they didn't receive care or not registered, but they are not big number anyway. Again, this is the number of cases diagnosed in Jazan in 2023, and you can see the trend of hospital referral. King Fahd Hospital, again, is the major site for diagnosis, because this is where the general surgery is, probably breast surgery, colorectal surgery, and oncology surgery, followed by King Faisal Hospital, and then Prince Mohammed bin Nasser Hospital, and other hospitals where the patient served in this region. This is the breast cancer in Jazan for the 2023. 128 patients diagnosed with breast cancer in 2023. Probably this is less than actual, but I think a lot of patients diagnosed outside Jazan, either in Jeddah or Riyadh, but this is the patient being diagnosed in Jazan. Now I'll move from the incidence to more important, which is the most common cancer death or mortality report, which is very important to know, and we start reporting it in 2022. This is the first report of mortality of cancer in Saudi Arabia, and you can see the colorectal cancer is the leading cause of cancer death in Saudi Arabia, followed by breast cancer and liver lung cancer. So we have to pay more attention to colon cancer to try to improve the care prevented by early detection. Breast cancer, I think we are doing good. While the breast cancer is very common, the number of deaths is not as common as other. That means a lot of patients enjoy long life, and that will be showing in the survival cancer. This is a nice message for the patient to start with. That 84% of the patient will survive. Only 20% will die from cancer in the breast. If we're talking about breast cancer, and also our outcome is comparable to Australia, France, Ireland, Japan, United Kingdom, and USA. So the healthcare provided to Saudi citizens is similar to the healthcare provided outside, and this is an evidence by the survival graphs of breast cancer over years. From we calculated the survival from 2005 till 2009, this 5-year survival, from 2010 till 2014, also from 2015 to 2019, and we have similar result as the developed country. And we'll be, inshallah, publishing the survival of 2020 till 2024 soon. This is the colorectal cancer survival. Again, in Saudi Arabia, 70% of colon cancer will survive. Cancer is not death sentence. This patient, when discovered, they will be enjoying long life with Allah. So 70% of them, they will have long-term survival. This is for cervical cancer. Again, 64% will survive with a proper treatment and proper management. And this is the survival for other type of cancer from 2005 till now. It's available on the website of Saudi Health Council. This is the cancer survival report. I encourage all the scientists to have a look to it. It is in the website of the Saudi Cancer Center, and it is available. It is also you can download it, And this is the link of the report. I encourage you to take a picture of the slides because you may need it if you required any data from the cancer registry. First of all, you could have access to the whole report from 1994 to now. It is downloadable. You just go to the link at the top. You go to annual report and it is downloadable. The last report is not yet published, will be published soon. And this is if you require any data, you can go to Nahar Sab, we call it Nahar Sab. There is a form to be filled, and you can request any data you need for the cancer from our website. By this, I come to the end of the lecture, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Asiri, for this comprehensive insight into Saudi Arabian cancer registration data warehouse and its crucial role in shaping cancer research and policies. Now we'll be with Dr. Ghadir Al-Muhaini. She is the General Manager of the Health and Wellness National Priority at the Saudi Arabian Research Development and Innovation Authority, RDIA. She is trained as clinical scientist in molecular oncology. She had the PhD in molecular oncology from University of Oxford. She worked as postdoctoral researcher in DNA damage repair at the University of Oxford Department of Oncology. She is leading the design and activation of a national mission that address pressing health challenges, including cancer. In this role, she drives collaboration between academia, industry, and government to translate research into impact and improve population health. She brings together scientific expertise and strategic leadership. Her work focuses on advancing Saudi Arabian RDI ecosystem, fostering innovation, and shaping the future of health through cutting-edge research and technology. Now we will be with her in a talk titled as National Research Consortium at the Research Development and Innovation Authority. Please welcome.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an, صبحكم الله بالخير. To begin with, I'd like to thank the organizers for their kind invitation and having RDIA as a strategic partner to this amazing forum as we discuss the national priority of cancer. So in my talk, I'm going to take us a few steps back as we talk about research and how we aim to tackle research and research priorities in the kingdom. As you know, Sumu Sayyidi A'lan, that we have an ambitious nation, and this ambitious nation needs to drive research and innovation. And to do that, we have to make certain commitments. And one of the commitments that Sumu Sayyidi has made was that we need to allocate 2.4% of our GDP spending on R&D, and that brings Saudi Arabia at the forefront of countries that are committed by spending to R&D, and that would help us achieve higher ranks on the GII score, which drives innovation amongst different countries. From that vision, RDIA was born, the Research Development and Innovation Authority. RDIA is mandated to enable the research ecosystem on its own. RDIA is not an executor of research. but rather an enabler of research. There are different goals that RDIA aims to achieve. One, we act as a funding body by providing competitive-based funding through grants, but also we are tasked with ensuring that we fix and amend policies that can help researchers across the ecosystem, from trying to move research from academia all the way to applied research, and also having several programs for startups and companies to thrive. And we are adopting a mission-oriented approach to research. And a mission-oriented approach is not a new framework. This has started a long time ago with the Moonshot mission, or in the US, where President Kennedy announced that we need to reach to the moon, but at that time they did not have any of the technologies to get them to the moon. And so having that shared goal, that shared vision, that North Star, mobilized an entire ecosystem, and there are so many innovations that came as a result of that moonshot thinking that we are still using today. And at RDIA, we are adopting a mission-oriented approach. We've identified several challenges across focus areas that translated into missions, and these missions are going to be detailed and they're going to be cascaded into projects. Sumu Sayyidi أعلن that in research we have 4 national priorities: health and wellness, sustainability and essential needs, energy and industrial leadership, and economies of the future. And in our mission-oriented approach, we've identified 31 national missions that represent challenges across these 4 national priorities. In the health and wellness, we have 5 missions, and 2 of them are prioritized. The overarching mission in the health and wellness is to increase the healthy lifespan by 5 years by the year 2040. As you know, we are a young nation now, but we have very high rates of non-communicable diseases, particularly diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and actually around 75% of deaths in Saudi is due to non-communicable diseases. As a young nation, I think this represents a challenge, and that's why we have the mission of reducing the incidence and prevalence of non-communicable diseases by 50% through better management, treatment by the year 2035. We all saw the graphs that Dr. Mushabbab has kindly shared, and you all saw the dip in the year 2020, which is driven by infectious diseases. Saudi Arabia is unique geographically. Thousands and millions of people come to Saudi for religious pilgrimage in Mecca and Medina, and that brings with it a plethora of infectious diseases. So we need to be at the forefront of infectious diseases preparedness, and that is why we have the mission of reducing infectious diseases significance by 50% by the year 2035. Supporting to these missions is the development of at least 2 gene therapies of top 10 rare diseases in Saudi Arabia. As you know, we are a highly consanguous population with very high rates of autosomal recessive disorders and rare diseases. And lastly, but not least, is the development of digital therapeutics. We are in the era of digital healthcare, and we as a nation are very good at adopting digital solutions. And therefore, I think it's important that we try and aim to advance digital health in Saudi Arabia. So I hope you can see and appreciate that the missions that were stated are very ambitious. And to some of you, it's actually very vague. And you're right. When we talk about infectious diseases, there are a number of infectious diseases. And non-communicable diseases, there are a number of non-communicable diseases. And I think that begs the question of what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? And so the national missions are inherently diverse, complex, and they are moonshots. We might not reach these aspirations, but that's not necessarily bad, because the spillover effect from mobilizing an entire ecosystem to try and solve these challenges would give us enough innovation and enough change across these missions. And to solve these missions, there is a framework. So what we do initially is we detail each mission. We develop something that we call a technology roadmap, which is something that I'll share with you momentarily. So within the technology roadmap, we identify what do we want to solve and how, and where do we prioritize our efforts. And when we look at the missions, there are some missions that need to be solved with innovative solutions, some missions that can be solved with policies, and some missions that can be solved with a combination of policy and innovative solutions. So within our framework, we have a problem statement component, we detail the missions, and we do baselining. Following, we do technology assessment, we do technology scouting, prioritization, and technology roadmap is the final solution or the final document that can be shared with the entire ecosystem. And I'll show you glimpses of technology roadmap for non-communicable diseases, including cancer. For the non-RDI solutions, for the mission, policy assessment, and policy roadmap, and there are a number of enablers and activities. The good thing about having a mission-oriented approach is setting a common goal for everyone within the ecosystem. There are a number of excellent innovations that came out of mission-oriented approaches. For example, in the US, DARPA is the military mission-oriented research program, and out of DARPA, the internet was born. Now, in the US, they've adopted a new program specifically for health. It's a mission-oriented approach, and it's called ARPA-H. In Europe, they have Horizon Europe. In the UK, they have the Industrial Challenge Fund, which is part of the UKRI. So there are a number of countries around the world that saw a value in having this mission-oriented approach and this North Star to mobilize the ecosystem. When we look at mission enablement, as I mentioned, RDIA is not an executing of research. We are an enabler of research. And there are a number of really important factors that need to come together in order to see any effect in the national missions. So the national missions represent the problems that need to be solved. For each mission, we have a mission custodian, and these custodians are set by the RDI Supreme Committee, اللي يرأسها سمو سيدي. So for health missions, وزارة الصحة is the custodian of the health missions. And we, for so many years, I think you all would agree, we've been doing research, and we've been doing really good and solid research. One of the major issues is research stays in the confines of academia due to certain policies, due to lack of certain enablement. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to move the missions from, and move research from TRL level 1 all the way to TRL level 9, all the way to applied. One of the great things of research is when a research idea is born in a university or in an academic institution, and 15 years later, it's a company that actually has a product that can impact patient lives directly. And one of the great enablers of a mission is alliances and consortias. And that is why the alliance of or the Cancer Alliance was born, and we also have the Infectious Diseases Alliance. They're still in their infancy, but we view alliances as a major enabler and mobilizer of a mission and research. The way that alliances will work, on the right here I have a graph of how the missions are set, or the mission office is set. But we see alliances as a group of experts in a particular field that can help set the priorities and where do we need to move forward. Alliances can be many and they can intersect. So now, for example, we have the Cancer Alliance, but we also have the Economies of the Future national priority, which focuses on AI, quantum computing. And I think in a few years' time, there might be co-projects between quantum, cancer research, and AI. So these alliances will intersect. When we look at cancer R&D ecosystem in Saudi Arabia, there are certain challenges, from infrastructure to funding, which is a major problem within the RDI ecosystem, governance and ecosystem, human capital, regulations, and IP management. From very small policies that can change, for example, the policy of procuring reagents, expediting procurement. These challenges, if they're solved, they can help cancer research in the kingdom. And these challenges are not unique. These challenges are not unique to Saudi Arabia. These challenges are shared globally. And there are cancer consortias and alliances around the world that are solving these challenges. That's why here we wanted to start the Cancer Alliance in the kingdom. Infrastructure, governance, ecosystem, human capital, and regulation and management. So in 2024, we launched the Cancer Alliance, and it contains over 30 members from diverse sectors, hospitals, research centers, and each of these entities is represented by an expert in the field. And the first steps for the Cancer Alliance was tell us where we are and where do we need to go. What do we need to focus the efforts on? And this is an input that, sorry, so it takes a little bit of time. This is an input that can help in identifying or detailing the missions. Because when we have the non-communicable diseases mission, one of the top areas is cancer. So we need to define that into mission objectives, component, and RDI domains and key technologies that we need to focus on. So when we look at the non-communicable diseases mission, we have 3 elements within that mission. It is risk prediction and primary prevention, early detection and intervention, and treatment and management. And as I mentioned, cancer is one of the top non-communicable diseases that we need to focus on as a nation, not because it represents a huge problem now, but it's going to be a problem for the future. So when we asked the experts, what are the future focus areas in cancer and what should they be, this was their answer. First, we need to understand biology, molecular biology of cancer, understanding the genetics, detailed study of cancer cells, genetic technologies. Second, we need to look at prevention through advanced images, lifestyle interventions. Then we need to look at detection and diagnosis, individual response, innovation in diagnosis, point of care testing, genomic profiling, and immune checkpoints. Last, we need to go to treatment and public health. So according to the experts from the over 30 entities that you saw in the Cancer Alliance, these are the future focus areas for cancer. And the key technologies that are identified that could mobilize the field are histopathology techniques, basic and advanced genetic equipment, cancer cell culture, functional MRI, ultrasound, longitudinal studies, in the detection and diagnosis, patient-derived tumor cells, and I think we know now that there's a huge trend in patient-derived organoids and personalized therapy and testing, genetic profiling, point-of-care testing, prognostic markers, cell-free DNA, and the utilization of proteomics and cell-free DNA is a huge growing field now. In treatment, cancer therapies, immune therapies, and personalized treatments and cancer vaccines, and public health. So according to the experts that we've surveyed through few workshops, these are the focus areas and key RDI technologies in the sector. So currently, what we're doing at RDIA is we're detailing the non-communicable diseases mission, and cancer is one of them. So we needed to draw a map of the RDI technologies in non-communicable diseases in general. So when we looked at the non-communicable diseases mission breakdown, the components are prevention, detection, and management. And these are cascaded into several objectives. One is population risk analytics and environmental monitoring, screening detection platforms, novel therapeutics manufacturing, digital prevention and behavior change systems, precision diagnostics, and also integrated disease management and digital therapeutics. So this is our first step in identifying the RDI domains that we will share with the entire ecosystem for their feedback, and also to set the North Star and where do we need to go. One thing that I wanted to mention is in future grant cycles, these RDI domains will be utilized to prioritize grants. So every grant call will be for a specific mission, will be for, you will need to identify what RDI domain you're working on, or it will be non-prioritized RDI domain. So the value chain flow, we have the upstream prevention, then we have detection, and we have management. And I think because we are not crippled by cancer cases as with many other nations, there's a great room for early prevention and detection of cancer, and that can be tailored to our specific population, from large-scale genetic screening for cancer predisposition to early detection programs. So the technologies and integration point, we have genomics for risk prediction. As you know, PRS scores and doing genomics on healthy population can identify a large number of patients with monogenic variances that are attributed to cancer development. We have AI and machine learning for population analytics, digital health for prevention platforms, and also devices. In the detection vertical, we have precision diagnostics, and now there's a new term of precision prevention as well, which I think is very important for the combination of genomics and prevention. Also diagnostic enhancement, monitoring systems and monitors. And lastly is patient management, personalized treatment, treatment optimization through research such as organoids, predicting patient response, and management platforms. And lastly, this is the initial technology roadmap, I would say, for non-communicable diseases, including cancer, for risk prediction, early detection, which enables the optimal treatment selection, treatment outcomes feedback to improve risk modules, cross-platform data integration, which amplifies impact, and lastly, continuous learning loop across the entire value chain. And I'll stop my talk here, but I welcome your feedback. If you're interested to learn more about the technology roadmap and the components that we've identified, all of this information is going to be published in the next few months in the non-communicable diseases, including cancer, and also for the infectious diseases. And thank you again for the organizers for their warm reception and invite.
Thank you very much, Dr. Al-Moheni, for highlighting the role of national research consortia in uniting resources and fostering innovation across the kingdom. Now we'll be with a talk about the role of the Saudi Food and Drug Authority in regulation of biological therapies for cancer. We'll be with Dr. Manna Al-Shehri. He is Senior Chief Scientific Expert at the Saudi Food and Drug Authority, specialized in cell gene therapies, biologics, and biosimilars. He worked as a cancer and cellular therapy research scientist at various international and national institutions like King Abdullah International Medical Research Center, Dana-Farber Center, Cancer Institution at Harvard University, University of Rennes in France, and University of Calgary and University of Sheffield. He received multiple awards and grants, such as the Research Mobility Program Scholarship from the French Embassy and Dubai Harvard Foundation for Medical Research Scholarship, the Clark Smith Brain Tumor Scholarship, and the Canadian Institution of Health Research Award, and more. His professional expertise in cell therapy extends from developing such therapies in research laboratories to manufacturing them in a highly controlled clean room facilities. Dr. Al-Shehri holds several academic and professional qualifications, PhD in cancer biology and fellowship in clinical manufacturing of cell therapies from Dana-Farber, American Board certification in regenerative medicine, board certification in biologics and biosimilars, professional certification in transfusion medicine and biotherapies, certificate in high impact cancer research from Harvard Medical School. He joined Harvard Business School, where he completed several executive education programs in management and innovation. Welcome, Dr. Al-Shehri.
شكرا، الله يعطيكم العافية وسعيد بتواجدي معكم صراحة. Thank you for the organizers, thank you for هيئة تنمية البحث والتطوير والابتكار. Thank you للزملاء في جامعة جازان على الهوسبيتاليتي وعلى ما شاء الله النايس كامبس اللي على البحر. Remember بريتش كولومبيا ما شاء الله، ف كامبس جميل وجهود جبارة صراحة، فيعطيكم العافية جميعا. So today we will, inshallah, highlight the role of the Saudi FDA in regulating cancer treatments. And we'll try to focus on the biological cancer since it's the most expensive treatments that it's aligned actually with the initiative from Saudi Biotechnology initiative and with الانيشيتيف مع الزملاء في هيئة تنمية البحث التطوير والابتكار by also localizing expensive treatment for treating the unmet medical needs, especially cancer patients. Today we'll highlight some of the activities of the Saudi FDA. طيب طبعا الهيئة العامة للغذاء والدواء تأسست تقريبا عام 2003 and its major role in regulating and overseeing and control the food and drug and medical devices, as well as putting standards, mandatory standards and specifications for the products, either it's food product or drug products, whether they are imported from outside the country or they are locally manufactured. So we are around 2,300 distributed in the country. So we have offices in different regions of the country. We have offices in Riyadh, in عسير, في الشمال, في الجنوب. الهيئة دائما متواجدة. طبعا Saudi FDA has several main sectors. One of them is the drug and also the food. However, we have other sectors where we also work together to, for example, the inspection, where our colleagues they inspected the drug manufacturing facilities inside the country as well as outside the country to make sure that any medical product that will come to the country meeting the highest standard and it's served, delivered to the patients with high quality. Our also colleagues for research and development sector, they are doing high research to examine, for example, batches from the drug that will import it to the Saudi Arabia to make sure it's also meeting the highest standard. So في الدراج سيكتور عندنا احنا فيه different إدارات تنفيذية من ضمنها regulatory affairs من ضمنها quality to make sure that any application either for registration which would be for طبعا commercial use or for clinical trial meeting specifications that would be safe when it's infused or given to the patients for treating any diseases, including for sure cancer diseases. We have the pharmacovigilance, where our colleagues also monitoring the long-term side effects for such disease, for such treatments, and report any side effect that could happen. And يعني الزملاء في الانسبكشن يستجيبون بسرعة بسحب and withdraw the product اللي not meeting the quality. And the risk-benefit group, where they balance the risk and benefits. This is highly important, especially in the clinical trial, when the patient doesn't have any option, treatment option to be treated with. So they will be enrolled in clinical trials, and our colleagues, they will balance the risk and benefits for allowing and approving some clinical trials. So this is just the general things about the Saudi FDA, and there are lots of things that I didn't mention here for the sake of the time. The Saudi FDA is part of several international committees, طبعا على different sectors. One of them is basically the drug sector, and we are part of the 70, more than 70 committees internationally. And we are aligned with the biotechnology strategy that launched by سموسيدي ولي العهد, والهدف منها إنها to localize different things زي ما سمعنا من الدكتورة غدير about localizing the manufacturing and research on different aspects, including the vaccine, the genomics, biomanufacturing for different cell and gene therapies, as well as for other purposes. And if you can see, I don't think so. I have a pointer here. But if you can see the red box there, it's also you have to have, if you would like to achieve all of the goals, you have to align this also with good regulations that facilitate the innovations, so facilitate the clinical trials, and making sure that you are delivering the right thing to our patients and meeting the global standards also and excellence standards. And to this, we are internally develop our strategy to also improve and innovate in the regulations. And right now we have even products that has not been approved globally, and we approve them here in Saudi Arabia for the first time globally, making sure that we have the flexibility to serve our patients. So the highlight here in the red box, it's internally we have the flexibility and we have the adaptation to implement the new technology like the AI, as we heard from Dr. Adir, to have regulations to have increased accessibility for several treatments. طبعا الدرug sector, we will focus right now on the drug since it's our focus of this meeting. The responsibility is it's responsible to deliver and license safe and effective drug to our patients, and this is including human drugs or herbal or cosmetic or any also drugs for the animal use. And this is depending on several procedures from the clinical side, from the quality side, from the risk-benefit side, and different things to make sure that we are meeting also the international standards and have accessibility to our patients. And in alignment with this, we are proud to be the third country globally to be reaching the maturity level 4 from the WHO. Which meaning that the Saudi FDA is applying the highest standard for the registration and the clinical trial registration around the globe. And also, we are the first country and the first regulatory authority in the Middle East to be nominated for the management committee for the ICH. The ICH is the highest agency that's looking for the regulations and the standard of the pharmaceutical standards. So right now we'll talk about the role of Saudi Arabia and the Saudi FDA in registering products, especially biological products, for our patients, and I will also highlight some of the efforts to enhancing the innovation of some of the clinical trials and in the innovation to treat our patients. So we have, if we talk about the biologics, we are talking about products that coming from biological resources, and there are different categories for this. One of them is the vaccine. Either they are preventive or they are therapeutics for the cancer. Some of the cancer vaccines, they are also used for curative purposes. We heard about the preventive vaccines, and I guess we will hear about them also in the next sessions, also for the cancer patients. We have blood products departments. We have also cell and gene therapy departments or advanced medicinal therapeutics products. It's including the very advanced cell and gene therapies. So we are not like the Saudi registry. By 2020, we have increased in the product, and this is also because the pandemic. So we have to increase the accessibility to more treatment for our patients, and you can see this actually clear in 2022 and 2021. Also, we are proud to see that in the last 5 years, we have around 60% increase in licensing and approving biological products for our patients, and this is for the cancer and other products. It's also worth mentioning here the 646, for example, it's also including some products with different formulations. So it's either giving by different concentrations or giving packaging and so on. And here is more detail about the product. So for the biotechnology product, what we mean here by the recombinant products, recombinant proteins and monoclonal antibodies, we have biosimilars, we have vaccines, we have blood products. And you can see this is the approval and the registered product as the Saudi FDA right now. Scientifically, for our colleague in the science part, we have this as the scientific name as well as the trade name. And talking about the advanced therapy, the ATMBs, like the cell and gene therapy, we approved right now several gene therapies, gene and cell therapy. Some of them is the CAR T-cell therapies, chimeric antigen receptor, and this is specific for cancer patients, especially for hematological malignancies. Right now we have 4 approved products. In the US right now there are 7. Right now we are also reviewing another 3 products for the CAR T-cell, and we are hoping by the end of the year we will have 7 products approved for the CAR T-cell products for our patients. And this would be exactly the same number that we have it in the United States, where it's available for our patients. So some of them, they are coming from different areas. We are not also restricted to have something only from the Western country. We are open some of the products here either from Asia, from China, and we are independent by doing our evaluation to make sure that all of the products that we will have in the country meeting the criteria. And this is what we are doing right now by trying to make sure that the need of our population is met by delivering those therapies. So we also expanded in the research and development by allowing several clinical trials, and we celebrated with our colleagues at King Faisal Specialist Hospital by approving the first approval for clinical trials for using locally manufactured CAR T-cell. And I guess the first patient was infused and even discharged from the hospital safely. So congratulations for them. It was a big achievement to see how the research and development can impact not only on numbering, but on the life of the patients. And we are hoping that other centers will follow in that cycle, and we'll see lots of local manufacturing that will impact on our patient life directly. So for the regulatory frameworks, we have different guidelines to make it easy for the researchers as well as for the company to register. I will not dive in this because I guess it's more specialized, but the bottom line is we have different guidelines where any researcher or any company will come to us. We will have them go through different interaction sessions with the specialized people in the Saudi FDA from the whole different departments to cover the registration steps and the registration journey of any product. But to summarize this, we have different pathways. One of the pathways that we have is the regular pathways. This is for product that has been, we have alternatives for them for our patients, and we have to make sure that we are meeting the high standard. But if we look at the bottom there, the breakthrough medicinal product, the timing even for reviewing this, we consider one of the shortest globally, not even in the US FDA. So we are trying to make the review cycle for the innovative product that never been seen to the market shorter, to have more advance for the innovators, for the researchers to register their product and to have them getting to the market faster than any other things. We have priority review, and this is again making accessibility for our patients by shortening the time. If those treatments, for example, registered at the US FDA or the EMA, which is the European Medicinal Authority for regulating the medicinal product, we will have also shortened time for the review for all of those products. So this is the priority pathway that we are talking about. So the applicant will come to us, and we will have interactive sessions before even the submission to make sure that they are having all of the application ready for the submission. Our colleague in the different departments will have 15 days just to assess the applications and to make sure that it's everything that we need from the data of the quality, the data of the manufacturing, the controls, and the clinical data is available to make sure that we have the full picture for any drug that will enter to the kingdom. Then after that, after the 15 days, if everything is completed, it will move to the assessment cycle, and at the end of the day, sorry, this is not moving, but so at the end of the day, the product will make sure that it's meeting the requirements from all of the aspects, from the clinical aspect, from the quality aspect, and also from the regulation aspects. So we also have the flexibility if any drug that has been registered in both in FDA or EMA, we will have only 30 days for reviewing. And this is to make it shorter for any drug like this to enter the kingdom. The abridged also registration, if it's any product has been registered in one of them, we will have 60 days to finish and complete the review, and we'll give the company an answer yes or no for the product to be registered within the kingdom and to be used for our patients. And this, the most important, I guess, part of the talk is about the breakthrough medicinal product, because this is open for the company as well as for our researcher in the kingdom. If you develop a new technology or a new therapeutic product that you would like to use it to our patients, we will have this shortened. The review will be quick, and there are other advantages for those researchers to benefit from. But the cycle and the reviewing and shortening the time is the priority. And we will be interacting with the researcher and the company even before the registration, and this is even during the clinical trial. And this will give us more understanding on the product itself, on the quality of the product, the manufacturing process, the clinical benefits, and if there is any risk to evaluate it in advanced stage. And by this, we were actually proud to make sure that the treatment for our patients, that it's in high need, get to the market, to get to our patients quickly. An example of this is a product called Casgevy. It's for the sickle cell anemia, and we are proud to have our first patient outside the clinical trial treated in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The bottom line here is the benefit from this program is to have rapid access to health institutions, and also to have decision on registration. The issued, we have decision to register the product or not within 60 days, and also to have scientific consultation with the Saudi FDA, the advantage for the applicant to have consultation in advance before even submitting the application, so you know if there is any gap that you have to fill before submitting the official application. And this is the eligibility criteria for this. This is, I guess, important for our colleague in the research and development side. So we are looking for something that it's addressing unmet medical need, a therapy that will be highly needed, and it's making advantage over the use of the traditional therapeutic strategy that used to control those diseases. And it had never been registered also in regulatory authorities. And the advantage, the whole advantage from this to make the fast accessibility for our patient to advanced therapies. So this is just the framework by interacting between the Saudi FDA scientific committees and the specialized people, and between the applicant, either it's a new biotech company or it's a researcher from the country. We have interactive stages where we try to make sure that the application is going through the right direction, and we're trying to have this approved as soon as we can. And as I told, this is process, the whole process is only taking 60 days from the first submission to the first or to the approval of the product. And this is some guidance. In the Saudi FDA, we always go by the guidance. So we establish guidance for everything. So for the registration, to see the requirements, and to see anything that you would like to request about. So this is this guideline here is highlighting the requirements for submitting the human drug submission. And in the submission, we are looking for different things. We are looking, for example, for its different modules in the regulatory systems. So we have 5 modules. One of them is looking for the general information. The other thing is looking for the clinical information. The third module is looking specifically for the CMC section, or chemistry, manufacturing, and control section. And it's about the quality. We look also at the non-clinical and the preclinical studies to make sure that there is no risk on the long term, especially when it comes to carcinogenesis side effect for some drugs. Again, there are also guidance even for the submission. It will tell you what you have to do, what is the paper that you need to prepare, and what is the system that you will be using. And for this, we have CEDR, which is interactive platform that we have. And this is where all of the researcher and the companies will register their application. And this is where we monitored also the KPI. So the response when it comes from our side or from the company, by timing and by also missing or having all of the documents ready for submission. Lastly, we have also support for R&D and localization, and this is by having and establishing different guidelines. For example, we have the classification guideline, we have the CMC requirement, which is one of the most important part of any biological product. We have also for cell and gene therapies, for the IND, which is the investigation and new drug products, and also for technology transfer, because we have some researchers and some company that they would like to do technology transfer from a different country to our country. So we're trying to make sure that the new site is also having the same quality and the same standard as the original sites. We are having different, interactive sessions with everyone, and we have some of even our colleagues that they are sitting here in the room that they already consulted for their products to get started the clinical trials. We also, it's not here on the slide, but also we have laboratory sector in our Saudi FDA, where also they receive some students. If you have a student that they would like to investigate, for example, a drug, the side effect of the drug or the effect of the drug on any, for example, cell line or organoids, as we heard from Dr. Ghadir, we have the laboratory ready for such, experimental things. By the end of the presentation, this is a barcode where you can find most of the guidelines and also the regulation steps that you need when you submit an application or a new treatment to the Saudi FDA. With this, I would like to thank you, and I will be happy to answer any question later on. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shihri, for the enlightening perspective on how Saudi FDA is shaping regulatory pathways for advancing biological therapies. Really, I thank our guest speakers for their compliance with the timing. We are finishing on time. Now it is the time for discussion. I need the chairs. Yeah. So my instructions to the audience is to keep their questions short and direct. They direct it to the targeted speaker, and they introduce themselves at the beginning of their question. We try to save time to be able to accommodate as much as we can of questions. Now I will invite respected speakers to come to the stage to answer the questions and participate in discussion. ممتاز. Yeah, the floor is open for questions. Please. We need a mobile microphone. First, Dr. Abdul Karim, our Vice President. Here.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أرحب بكم مرة جديدة في جامعة جازان وأشكركم على informative session. My question for Dr. Mushabbab, you mentioned that most types of cancers have survival rate 80% or more. And the RDIA mentioned that the goal is to have healthy life expectancy improved by 40%, I believe. I know cancer survivors are not fully healthy, but what is the patient perspective and what is the quality of life and who is going to measure it? Do we have plan on a national level to measure the quality of life among cancer survivors? Thank you.
Of general cancer survival. What I present is specific cancer survival for certain diseases, breast or colon, and other which is highly curable. There is still a lot of cancer which is incurable, like brain tumors, for example, pancreatic cancer. That eventually will add to higher mortality in total. The mortality of cancer generally in the developed country is above 50%. As you go in developed country, the survival will be in the range of 55 to 60 for the total cancer. In US, I think it's 56%. The aim of the RDI just to improve the total cancer survival, which is an indicator for good health system. Regarding the quality of life, of course, cancer is bad disease at the end. We're working now on a lot of programs to improve the quality of life of cancer patients. For example, rehabilitation of cancer patients. المركز السعودي سلامة المرضى, Saudi National Patient Safety Program is looking at this. I think it's an important area for improvement, and it's not only in the health system only, also in the social part. I received just a message now from Dr. Najwa Al-Ghamdi, Shura Council member, about the leave for cancer patients, sick leave. Now sick leave for cancer patients is limited for 3 months only. After 3 months, there is no paid leave except in the civil area, الموظفين خدمة مدنية. But the people who's on the system of labor system, they only have 2 months paid, and the third month is unpaid, and after that, they have no income. And we're working now to improve this. This is part of the quality of the family life, not only patient, also the family. I think this is an area for active research in the future. It's not only in the cancer and drug development, also the social life is very important for cancer patients. Eventually, when we're going to have a lot of cancer survivors in the future, they have some problems with the bank. ما يعطوهم قروض, for example. If you are cancer survival, any bank will not give you a loan. They cannot buy cars, تقسيط, because they think they will die. We have to work hard to improve this kind of areas, which is not in the health sector, also the social, community, research, divorce, for example, in cancer patients. A lot of patients with breast cancer, unfortunately, they get divorce. And some of them, they have excellent support, but others, they have some problems. So I encourage research in all directions for the cancer patients.
Thank you very much.
I can add on this.
Yeah,
if I can,
please.
So I think I can add on this because I think the answer of this is not the specialization of one institute. I think it's a common goal that we are trying to address. At the Saudi FDA, we have the pharmacovigilance program where we look, for example, for the side effect, which is affecting the quality of the life of the patients. So any therapeutics that will be, or any product that will be given to the patients, our colleague will monitor any side effect for the short and the long term as well. And this is affecting the quality of life. And I think one of also the things that it's shared by all of the institutions, and even institutions that we don't have representative on the stage right now, is the clinical trial. The clinical trial, especially for the cancer patient, is highly important factors in improving the quality of life and saving actually the lives. All of the treatments that has been approved, or most of them, as example, the one that I mentioned, the CAR T-cell, is started by clinical trials when the patients, they don't have any therapeutic options. And the other option is just staying home and just wait for your, يعني لا سمح الله. So by involving the patients in clinical trials مدعومة من الزملاء في هيئة التطوير البحث والابتكار, monitored by الزملاء في المجلس الصحي السعودي, طبعا sponsored also by زملائنا اللي السعودي NIH, they are not here today maybe, but also regulated by the Saudi FDA. I think this is another thing that reflects the importance of the research and development, specifically in the cancer research area, where we can have treatments that it might save the lives. And we heard about the CAR T-cell for the first localized manufactured CAR T-cell at King Faisal right now. The patient actually was without any option right now, but he's trying the new medication right now, although it's still under investigation, but it seems everything is going well. So hopefully the quality of life will be impacted directly, but most importantly, saving life also for those patients. So thank you so much for the question.
Thank you very much. Next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to thank all speakers. I introduce my name. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Madkhali from Jazan Health Cluster, Director of Oncology Center. I have two questions to Dr. Mushabbab Al-Asiri. First of all, I would like to congratulate you and your team for 2023 data. So the first question regarding Jazan cancer cases reported, you mentioned, as I remember, 630, including non-Saudi. Regarding my question regards site of pathological diagnosis, around 207 reported for King Faisal. Is it due to because of those cases referred undiagnosed, or they are like from Jazan and just living in Riyadh, and the data collected based on ID? And the second question is regarding survival data. It was an excellent data. Do you have like 5-year overall survival data, or like by according to stages, stage 1, 2, or 3, or 4?
Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim, and also I'd like to thank you personally on behalf of thousands of patients being saved in Jazan, and you saved them and your colleagues in Prince Mohammed bin Nasser Hospital from traveling to Riyadh, and saved them from difficult journeys and airports and a lot of cost. Now, I think maybe 60% of Jazan patients served locally in Prince Mohammed. Jazakallah khair, Ibrahim. Second thing about the data, of course, when we present the data, we don't make the data. This is what we captured. We have projects in the future to link the patient to their national address, because we know there is a lot of patients from the peripherals. They are diagnosed outside their cities. They diagnosed in Jeddah or Riyadh, and we don't know that they belong to Jazan, for example. So that's why the data is not 100% accurate, because it's not linked to the national address exactly. Some of the patients in the past, let's say before the 2000, they are not registered by the national ID. They are registered by Tab'iyya or Hafidha. Some of them registered by passport or Iqama. And Iqama in the past also changed from Kafil to Kafil. Nowadays, the data is more accurate because it's all linked to the national ID. And it's going to be more accurate in the future. The one which is labeled as unknown, that's been, we don't have the staging information at the time of diagnosis. You know, a lot of patients only diagnosed by biopsy, and they have the staging workouts done in other hospitals. But it is not captured in the data. The future platform for the cancer registry will capture all the information, and it will be more accurate, and it's going to be live. We don't need to wait for 1 year to know the information. It will be within, and that inshallah will be around 2027, 2028 inshallah.
Thank you. Next question.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the speakers for this informative session. I'm Dr. Gamra from King Saud University Rehabilitation Department. I have a question for Dr. Ghadir regarding the Cancer Alliance. So have you considered having a patient and their families in this alliance? Because I did my PhD in Australia, and there is a lot of information and support need from patients and their families. And also for any research there, they have to have some consumers perspective. So this is my concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yatiki Al-Afia. I think you bring a very important point, which is patient representation in research in general, and setting research priorities, and when doing clinical trials and research projects. Regarding the Cancer Alliance, I don't think that there is a need currently for patient representation group, because as it stands, it's a group of experts that are setting research priorities and domains. But in the future, when there are consortia that are spinning out of these alliances that do projects, then definitely I think that we need to move more towards patient engagements and including the patient's voice more in the research that we do. Because ultimately the impact that we want to drive is on the patients, and their perspective is very important. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Thank you, Professor Aqili, for this nice session. The speakers, Dr. Ihab Al-Amir, head and neck surgical oncology, Dr. Mushabbab Asiri, I have a question or a comment, and this is in the context of head and neck cancer in Jizan. So maybe some people here know that we have an outbreak of head and neck cancer in Jizan, especially oral cavity cancer. Some studies have shown that up to 60% of all oral cavity cancers in the kingdom comes from Jizan. So my question is, I don't see this is reflected in the registry. What role can we do here at the regional level to reflect those numbers? For example, in 2018, some local efforts showed that we had at least 200 cases of head and neck cancers, while in the registry, only 50 cases. So like 4 times, fourfold difference. That's number one. Number two, there used to be a breakdown of the number of cases per region. Now you guys removed all of those from the website, even in the older versions. So I'm sure there's a reason for this. And my question is, are we going to break down these cancers per region? Survival data is not, I don't think it's accurate either. For example, studies have shown that in Jizan, 5-year survival of head and neck cancer is as low as 12% in some studies, while in the registry, the survival data is up to 60%. There is still a lot of discrepancy, even in this region. My last question is, when you grant access to researchers or clinicians to the data, how much of details do we have so we can guide the policy or actions, especially for regions where we have outbreaks like in Jizan?
Thank you very much. By the way, the survival, we face a lot of challenge in calculating survival. We face challenge with the Ministry of Interior for 20 years. They are not, at that time, willing to give us the death certificate information. And so we struggle a lot. Some of the hospitals, they publish their data not based on national data, but based on hospital data. If your patient continue to be managed in your hospital, you know his survival. But anybody who's traveling somewhere else, you don't know anything. So, for example, the patient who's been treated in King Faisal, for example, King Faisal have no idea about whether they're alive or not because their terminal time was in another city, let's say in the north or in the south. We have access to the data recently in 2023. We grant access to the national data. The death certificate became part of Ministry of Health Authority, and we have access to the data of Ministry of Interior. So we start calculating the data now, and this is national data, not yet linked to the regional. The data is huge. We have 400,000 patients on the registry, and we digging hard inside the data itself. And by the way, we didn't find any information about 150,000 of the patients because when they registered in the past, they were registered with the tabi'iyya number. So we didn't have any access to their national ID. Some of them, there is wrong entry. So we limited the research for the survival to the patient with accurate ID number. And they are around 200,000 of the 400,000. And that's why we eliminate some of the patients from before 2000. This survival is the first survival data. It will improve with the future, and it will be linked to the local data from Jazan or others. And by the way, we are instructed not to publish the data about the city to the public on the website. But it is available for researchers if they request it through the right channels of NASA. But we remove it from the public reports because it increases the people sometimes, we have cancer is very common in Jazan, which is not true. Maybe when they interpret the data, they take it wrong. Also, we have a lot of media report about the incidence of cancer in Hafr al-Batin or in Asir, and maybe linked to other reports which not related to health. That's why we remove it from the published report, but it is available for the researcher. And if you like to search for your own patient, you just give us the ID number of the patient that you need to know, and we'll let you know whether the patient is alive or not.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, we exceeded the allocated time by maybe 4 minutes. At the end of this session, I would like to thank Dr. Abdul Karim for his attendance with us, Vice President for Research and Postgraduate Affairs. I would like to thank very much my honored guests and keynote speakers for their contributions. Professor Asiri, Dr. Al-Muhaini, and Dr. Shihri. Thank you for the very informative presentations. We will break till 1:15, inshallah. Enjoy the break. And meanwhile, you can continue networking and discussing and enjoying the break. I think now we'll have Takrim.
Yes,
the
Dr.
public
Hussein.
relations will have Takrim.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We call Dr. Hussein. First of all, thank you for moderating these sessions, and we thank all speakers for a really nice presentation. Dr. Karim. First, Dr. Mushabbab Asiri. دكتور غدير المهيني. دكتور مانع الشهري. الدكتور حسين عقيلي the moderator. Inshallah, we see you all after 1 hour exactly, at 1:30. Assalamu alaikum.